something to eat.
Alan, I'm not hungry.
Honey, we better get something. There's no telling how long I'll be able to use this card. This too.
This way, please. Oh, good to see you again, sir.
Thank you.
Been so long since we've seen you, thought you might have started flying.
No. That's for young men in a desperate hurry. Frankly, I've forgotten what it's like to be desperate.
Been reading all your articles. Very interesting.
And very ineffectual, I'm afraid. Let's try a little old men's food, shall we? Dry toast and coffee.
Very good, sir. And now, what may I do for you young people?
Karen?
Really, Alan, I'm
Honey,
not
you
hungry.
have to get something. It's going to be a long trip.
I don't think I can eat anything.
Have 2 club sandwiches and 2 coffees, please.
I'll have a glass of milk.
And a glass of milk.
And the milk. Right.
It's my baby, too.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? The Enforcement Division of the Population Control has asked us to examine all your identification cards. Would you have all the cards ready, please?
Alan, what are we going to do?
Let me get out of here.
Excuse me. I hope you don't mind this. My name is Quincy George. There's a kind of threadbare cliche about things being darkest just before the dawn. Now, could the two of you manage to look as if you believe that aphorism and smile a little? Alan, is it? And, Karen? Forgive me, please. I couldn't help listening in.
Good evening, Mr. George.
Oh, good evening, Vincent. I missed you on my last trip.
I had a touch of the flu. Nothing serious, thank you, sir. They've asked me to check all the identity cards. Not that I had to see yours, of course.
What, some sort of a problem?
It seems that a man was robbed at the station in New York. They think that the man that did it might be on this train.
Well, I hope you catch him. Oh, Vincent, say hello to my nephew and his wife. Alan, Karen. Vincent is the last vestige of a gentle but dying era. Vincent goes back to the days of the old Chicago Limited, when passenger trains were still a way of life for many of us.
How do you do? I wonder, sir, if I might see your identity card.
I'm afraid you're out of luck there, Vincent. The children just returned from France, and we barely had time to make this connection. Their cards will be issued in Boston.
But really, sir,
Oh, for heaven's sakes, Vincent, how about you?
All right, Mr. George. Nice to have met you, too.
You seem to have a lot of influence.
Some.
I did rob that man. I had to hit him.
Alan.
Honey, there wasn't anything I could do. He saw me going through his coat.
The most unpardonable of the sins, getting caught. And a petty theft, most inexpertly done. I'm afraid, Alan, you're not the criminal type. I suppose you're going to try to run the Canadian border. Well, the young lady's condition is obvious. Since the Canadian laws are not quite as barbaric as our own, I assume this would be your objective. You have another child?
She died a year ago.
A year, a decade. We somehow managed to mourn long after the wreath has been taken down, don't we? I had 3 sons. None of them survived the Southeast Asian wars. We're going to be in Boston in an hour. I think you'd best come with me. You'll need some help getting across that border. Well, the alternative is getting picked up and returned to the authorities. If you stay with me for a while, maybe I can be of some help.
Why are you doing this?
Must you ask, child? Isn't it enough that I want to do it?